Hi guys, I thought we would read another short story. I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of these. The Doggie's Treat. Erin wasn't feeling well at school. He had stayed up so late the night before studying for his history test that he was dead tired. Maybe if I say I'm sick, they'll let me go home. I can do a makeup test tomorrow, he thought. Looking in the mirror in the restroom, he decided he did look pretty sick. Erin called his mother at her office, and the school nurse let him go home about 10 o'clock. Boy, I'm glad I took the car to school today, he thought as he settled weakly into the seat of the old station wagon. I feel too lousy to walk home. All he could think of on the way home was collapsing in bed, but as he pulled into the driveway, he saw the garage door. It was slightly open. Erin figured his mom must have forgotten to close it all the way when she left that morning for work. It's a good thing Mamie is there, Erin thought. No one would ever try to get into the house with her guarding it. Erin parked in the driveway. As he unlocked the front door of the house, he noticed how quiet the house was. I guess it's always quiet at 10 in the morning. I'm just never here then, Erin decided. As he turned the key in the lock, he didn't hear Mamie running up to the door like she always did when he came home, and she always barked loudly until she recognized the voice. Suddenly, Erin was afraid maybe she had gotten out the crack in the garage door and run away. She was hard to catch because she was so big and strong, and Erin definitely didn't feel well enough to go running after Mamie. In the front hall, Erin yelled, "Mamie, Mamie, where are you, girl?" He heard nothing. He put his books down on a chair and headed toward the garage to pull the door shut. As Erin walked through the dining room into the kitchen, he thought he heard something. Listening carefully, he heard it again. It was a strange, irregular rasping sound, and it was coming from the basement. The basement door was open. That's odd, thought Erin. His mom kept her African violets down there. The basement door was always kept closed, so Mamie couldn't mess up the plants. As Erin got closer to the door, the sounds became louder. When he peeked down the stairs, he saw a shocking sight. There, on the basement floor, was Mamie. She was writhing, kicking her legs wildly and gasping for breath. She seemed to be choking. With a cry, Erin raced down the stairs. Kneeling at the poor dog's side, Erin saw that there was blood on her coat and a little on the floor. He tried to pick her up, but she was just too big, 83 pounds the last time Erin weighed her. "It's too bad you're not a Chihuahua instead of a Doberman," Erin said. Mamie whimpered in pain when he tried to move her. She licked his hand as Erin tried to comfort her. He finally managed to wrap her in an old blanket. With the blanket under her, Erin partly dragged, partly carried Mamie up the stairs and out to the empty garage. He couldn't believe what he saw in the garage. Near the open garage door was a large pool of blood. He also saw some scraps of torn cloth. "Oh no, Mamie must be bleeding," Erin cried. "I've got to get her to the vet." Erin opened the garage door and dragged Mamie out to the car. As he ran back up the driveway to close the garage door, he could hear her pitiful wheezing for air. Bending over to lock the garage door, Erin heard more moaning. Poor Mamie, he thought. That moaning sounds almost human. He sped to the animal hospital as fast as the old station wagon would go. At the animal hospital, Dr. Hernandez took Mamie into an examining room but wouldn't let Erin come along. "There's nothing you can do for Mamie here, Erin. Why don't you go home and wait? I'll call you as soon as I know how Mamie is." Erin agreed, even though he wanted to stay with Mamie. When he got home, he called his mom at work. "But Mom, there's blood all over the garage floor." "No, I'm not exaggerating. When you get home, you'll see," he said. "Well, all right then, I'll be home right away, dear," she said. "You wait for me there." After Erin hung up the phone, he decided to go out and try to clean up the garage. He paused at the door to the garage. "Huh," he said out loud. "There's that sound again." He listened. It was a soft moaning and then a loud clunk. It sounded like it was coming from upstairs. "That's kind of weird," said Erin, confused. "I thought it was Mamie who was moaning before." He decided to go upstairs to check out the strange sound. Walking through the dining room toward the stairs, he heard another clunk. This time it came from the top of the stairs. Suddenly, the phone rang. Answering the phone in the kitchen, Erin heard an excited voice. "Erin, this is Dr. Hernandez. Listen to me now and don't ask questions. Get out of the house immediately. Go to the neighbor's house and wait for the police. Do you hear me?" "Police? But my mom will be here soon and I'm—" "Erin, do what I tell you. Now! Now!" Okay, I'm going," Erin answered. Hanging up the phone, he thought, what's wrong with Dr. Hernandez? Then he heard the moaning from upstairs suddenly become louder. "Boy, that sounds like a person," he muttered. Then he heard several clunks in a row, as if something heavy were falling down the stairs. Erin found himself walking quickly through the kitchen. "Maybe I will just wait outside," he told himself as he almost ran through the garage. The moaning echoed in his ears. He took a last look at the pool of blood and torn cloth on the garage floor. He shivered. He flung open the garage door and ran out into the driveway. Erin heard Mrs. Findlay, the neighbor, screaming for him just as a police car screeched to a halt in front of the house. Erin and Mrs. Findlay watched from the corner of the driveway as the two policemen ran into the house with their guns drawn. A few moments later, they heard shouts and a long, bone-chilling scream from inside the house. They heard a scuffle in the garage, and then the policemen came out into the driveway. With them was a pale, wild-looking man in ripped, dark clothes and a wool ski cap. On his face was a look of terror that Erin knew he would never forget. Erin stared in horror at the bedsheet that was wrapped around one of the man's hands. It was almost completely scarlet. In seconds, the policeman rushed the man into the car. One of the policemen walked up to Erin and Mrs. Finley. "What's going on?" Erin asked. "He was trying to rob your house, son. We took this from him," the officer added, holding up a large pistol. Erin looked at the gun in disbelief. "But how did you come to know?" Erin asked. "Dr. Hernandez called us and said we'd better get right over here," the officer said. "I still don't understand," answered Erin. "Look, son, your dog will be fine," continued the policeman. "She wasn't bleeding internally or anything. The vet said she was choking, though." Choking? Erin wondered. On what? The officer looked back over his shoulder at the police car that held the robber. Then he answered, "She was choking on 2 human fingers." Have a spooky day.